If you have sensitive knees, I recommend you get different types of blankets, or a thin blanket, a thicker one, and even a towel. And you have to kind of adjust and see or adapt to see what works for you. Child's pose can be difficult uh, for a lot of people, and we'll try to do child's pose, but with modifications. So we'll bring a blanket, one soft for the bottoms of our knees. And I'm going to use this thin blanket, but you can also use a towel. And I'm going to roll it up really tight, okay? And put it into the back of my knees. So what this does is it creates the space between the upper and lower legs in the joints, okay? So sometimes if you can really get it behind there, you may find that eases the pain if you have them in the joints when you bend back, okay? Another thing you can do is use a bolster, a pillow, or something to put between the heels and the sits bones, okay? And it's not necessary that you go all the way to the ground. And I'm facing a wall because I'm going to put my hands onto the wall and just extend forward, okay? So I'm going to start out here and wrap the arm bones around and really feel the lengthening from the hands into the torso, just a little bit. And then I'm going to walk the forearms down. Good. And again, working on the shoulders, the arms being above the head. You want to feel the outsides of the arms lifting up, and the neck area below the neck, the mid back, the center of the upper back hugging down. And then if you want to walk the hands onto the elbows, press the hands onto the ground. Now, if you're able to get this far, you could just as easy take the block from the front side, prop up the chest with the block. So these are all different modifications that might work for you or not. So the toe mounts, or the big toes are touching. Working to be supported, but also engaged. I could feel the tops of my shins elongating, the thigh bones moving back, the space in the lower back lengthening. Good. Okay. Now rise back up. Take your right hand onto the wall and thread the left arm under. So you can take the block or a pillow and rest your head on the pillow block. Good. So the hand is, we're using the wall today, just a lot of it for reference points and to make it a little different, to change up the awareness into points, into a pose. Now take the right hand and kind of tug on the forearm, like so. Bring the palm right onto the meat of the forearm and really move the arm bones, stretching the shoulder blade, the left shoulder blade. Good. You can even take the palms and stack them and kind of glide them, creating a little friction and really twisting the torso. Now bring the right hand back to the ground, lift back up, bring the left arm to the wall, thread the right arm under. You can bring the side of the right side of your head to the block. And again, you're going to take the left forearm, really the left palm, and really tug on the forearm of the right arm. Again, you can bring the palms together and start elongating the left, right on top of the right, and kind of smudging it into the ground and feeling the shoulder blades hug backward, down into the spine. So really getting a good twist here. And then bring the left hand to the ground, and then rise back up. And you can lift up. Now, you can remove the blanket underneath the back of your knees. We're going to go to tabletop. And you want to be arm's distance away here to where the shoulders stack right over the wrist. Okay? So stacking the knees underneath the hips, shoulders on top of the wrist. Okay? Start out with a few cat-cows. Inhale, feeling the collarbones widen. And kind of roll the biceps forward, and even spreading the space in between the shoulder blades. A couple breaths here. And on the next exhale, you're going to begin moving into cat pose. And this time, keep the biceps moving forward. So, naturally want to roll the shoulders in. And keep them separated and kind of hug the elbows, the wrists towards each other, broadening the back. A couple breaths here. And then begin to gently move with pelvic tilts, opening the thoracic spine. Inhale and exhale. So you might feel an elongation from the arm bones into the shoulder girdle on the exhale specifically. One more inhale, gaze forward, and then exhale. All right. So yeah, the blanket could be more underneath the shins and less on the kneecaps. Okay. So a lot of times when we're here, we see it right on the kneecap. Try to get the shins, and if you can really feel it with the blankets here. Okay? Now, I'd like you to lift the right hand up. So we're in a tabletop. Just like press and rotate the bicep towards the sky, wrapping the shoulder around. Really stretch through that arm. Okay. And then lift the left leg up. So we want a pointer dog pose. Bring the left toes down. and press. You can feel this exchange from the left heel to the right hand, almost to where the right leg wants to lift up off the ground. Lift up off the ground. Adduct the right thighs into the center line. And kind of roll the left heel up and then press it down. And you can feel that shoulder on the right side elongate as the heel goes down and then hug back. So really not trying to bring the shoulder heads down the back. We want to lengthen it. But it's that exchange, kind of like a thread between the fingertips of the right hand and the heel of the left foot. I bring the right hand down and bring the left hand down. Left hand comes to the wall. And so you can really hug the left shoulder down and then open, extend. And find where it's nice and happy and integrated, rotating externally. The left arm. Top of the left foot is rooted as you lift the right leg up. So it doesn't have to hug here. Notice if that left hip hikes outward, hug it in, lift that right hip point to be parallel to the left. And then slowly lower the toes, the toe mount of the right foot down. So notice if you're collapsing down and really start to stretch that right calf as you press the left hand into the wall. Kind of roll forward and back. Again, adduct the left thighs in. So when it releases, you're going to notice that the tailbone softens and you want to anchor it down to the right heel. So if the groins are really tight, you want to soften the groins using the lower core, the adduction of the thighs, and the hands and the feet are active. Really softens the pelvic grip. Good. Go ahead and lower. Left hand down and bring the right knee to the ground. Curl the toes under. We're going to rise up into a broken toe pose. Bring the knees together. So this could be very sensitive. And you're opening up the plantar fascia on the bottoms of the feet. Inhale, hands rise up. Exhale, bring the palms together and start to gaze the thumbs, the fingertips. And again, see if you can hug the hip points back and soften the groins and lengthen the back ribs up to the hands. So you have the outer arms coming up, the inner arms hugging down. You almost feel like the lower neck is hugging down towards the pubic bones. And exhale, sweep the hands back in the heart center. Good. So this could be very sensitive. And then up the feet under. And we're going to turn around now. And we're going to do the same sequence here. And you might want to measure the length of the leg. So this is a good measurement here. My knees here. I'm going to bring the blanket to where the knees are on the front ends of the blanket. And I'm in tabletop. Stack the shoulders over the wrist. It could be a little bit forward. Tops of your feet. Shins root down. Now this time we're going to lift the right leg and put it onto the wall. Okay, you're hugging in the standing leg. And this time, bring the left fingertips forward. Rotate the left shoulder externally. So that standing leg is pressing into the wall, hugging it in. If you want to lift the left arms up, you can. But this is work, which is nothing wrong with work. You know, these classes that we say gentle yoga is hard to label sometimes. Just because we modify does not make it easy. Okay. And then lower the right knee down. And let's switch sides. Left foot comes to the wall. Right hand spider fingers forward. So again, you want this hip point to be in line with the left. Press to feel the four corners of the left foot into the wall. See if it can be balanced as if you're standing. Right hand can rise up. Couple more breaths here. Really feel the body in equanimity, balancing it off. All limbs active. Gaze right down to the left thumb in the center of the mat. Lower the right hand down and then lower the left foot down, left knee down. Curl the toes under and then slowly bend the elbows inward and then go hide. I would slide forward, but I want to bring my hip bones right onto the blanket. Sphinx pose. Bring the feet, the toe mounts, onto the wall. So we have the kneecaps lifted. Bring those to the ground and the toe mounts onto the wall. Good. So active quads. And really see if you can activate the hamstrings as well. And feel it in your lower back. But also start to lift the core beneath the belly button. So the hands and the thumbs. Press the ankles towards each other. Press the wrists towards each other. And then pull the hands apart. Good. Feel the elbows hug in and back towards the heels. Now inhale, lift the collarbones, the heart open. Exhale, peek at the left heel. Inhale back to center. Let's do the same side 3 times. Exhale. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Back to center. And then release the knees. Let yourself just relax into kind of like our midpoint. Crocodile pose. Turn the heels in, feet out. Now slowly lift your head up back into Sphinx pose. So you got the toes on the ground, the toe mounts into the wall. Lift the knees up, and again, pull the hands apart, magnetize the elbows, hug it back. Good. Bring the shoulder heads back. And you might feel it in the lower back, but if you lift and engage the very lower core, kind of in the sacral center, as you're lifting the belly button up, and the pubic bones are pressing into the earth. So you have this triangle shape of the hip points and the pubic bone being the base of this pose. Good. And we're engaged. Inhale. And then exhale, we're going to gaze at the right heel. Inhale. Exhale. So kind of draw the right elbow towards the right heel and press the left elbow forward. Back to center. And then exhale. Back to center. And then go ahead and release. Now, take the right hand out wide. And we're going to roll the left leg up and over. And then bring the left hand here. Now lift the head up and really hug that right shoulder back. And then lower and back down. You can even take the left foot onto the ground. Now again, lift the head and feel the whole femur, the whole arm bone, upper arm bone, and shoulder just lifting. So it's like I'm bringing the right chest forward and opening up the left. Good. You can even bring the hand behind the skull. Now start to lower the head down. Bring the left hand down. Roll back to center. Little crocodile. The left arm goes out wide. And scoot the right fingertips in. And then bring the left side of your head to the ground. Right foot can come to the earth. Now, using this right hand, you're going to press. You're going to rotate this left shoulder and open it up now. Maybe even walk the fingertips away. And we're going to press the shoulder head forward. So the collarbone twist and opening. And the right hand comes up. Now lower the left ear down. It's really opening up that whole left side, right side opens. Right hand can be on the hip, it can be on the crown. Let's do it again. That right hand comes to the earth. Really feel pressing the whole arm bone, the upper arm bone, into the mat, elongating that whole arm and shoulder, and then rotating the left ear all the way onto the ground and opening up. Now, can you open the shoulder blades? Like they might be squeezing together, right? And it's like, oh yeah, we can. It's natural to squeeze it here, but broaden them apart. You can really feel the twist coming from the groins, and the shoulder opening up. Now come, bring the right arm down, and bring yourself back to center. Good. Now, scoot a little bit forward. Bring the toes of the tops of the feet into the ground. Lift up into cobra, baby cobra. Knees are lifted. Press them into the ground. Bend your knees. Scoot back. The child's pose. So really elongate the arms forward. If you're going back to the heels, I want you to elongate the arms to where it's not to your maximum of knee bending. Okay? So we're really working on the elongation of the arms and the shoulder girdle. Now, we don't want these shoulders to be into the ears, but it's more of the inner arms hugging down. Like the inner traps. Good. And rise back up. Okay. We're going to use a blanket and fold it one time. I'm going to sit up against the wall. And you want to put the sit bones right onto the highest part of the blanket. And with your feet, try to stack them one in front of the other. Okay? If your knees are really hurting, you can prop them up with blankets or whatever you have handy. Good. So if your lower back is rounding, start to feel the energy thread upwards on the inhalation, root down the sits bones on the exhale. Good. Another good way of that feels good is to take a block between you and the wall, kind of in the apex of where the spine, maybe it's the thoracic spine here. Okay, so it's just a reminder, like where the back of the shoulder blades, just like we're doing a reclined fish pose. And it could be at whatever level. You can even put a block here behind the sits bones, behind the glutes. Good. And bring the hands to heart center. Now you may notice that one shoulder blade is more active than the other, keeping that block onto the wall. It might take a little activity to engage and keep it there as well. Shoulder heads back. Feel the collarbones widen and open up. Inhale, arms sweep up. And look, if you can't get your arms up, okay, it's okay. Like you don't have to go all the way up. Just do what's best. And exhale, release. So the arm rotation may help on how high you can lift the arms above your head. So if I'm lifting my arms, and it's naturally shoulders are rolled forward. We're moving these shoulder heads back, or the opening up the heart, externally rotating more or less the arm bones. Okay? And as we lift this up, we're extending through the fingers and really lifting up. So you feel like this energy is moving up with you. And as you start to lift the whole shoulder blades up, really the outer shoulder blades are going up and the inner shoulder blades are moving down. Okay? So it's like this rotation like here. Okay? And the arm bones go upward to the sky, and it's totally encased in the socket of the shoulders. Okay? So it's not that the arm bones are doing all the work. It is in rotation, but the shoulders are really allowing you to get it above your head. I'll bring the hands to heart center. Good. Now, let's go ahead and remove the blocks. So we have our blanket. We're going to fold it in half. And we're going to put the ridges out to the right side. So bring it onto the right side of your mat. And the right heel is going to tuck under, and the left leg is going to cross over. So the left hip is going to have like a ledge. And the right foot could be on the ground. And I want you to hug both hands around the shin, the left shin. Okay? And we want to be about arm's distance away, extended. So I'm going to scoot up a little bit. Once you do the measurement, I'm going to hug tall. And in this space, it's going to allow the left hip to hike down because you don't want to rise up. So you want to let it go down. Bring the right arm around. Good. Some people can cross here. If I just ate, I won't be able to. So I can just hug it here. And then root down the toe mount of the left foot. Press the knife edge of the right down. Hug the heel in. And really feel the center line hug together. So when you hug together, you're going to feel it closer towards the pubis. Right? Lengthening tall and then twisting. Inhale. And then exhale, twist. Good. So you don't want to necessarily lean back. Let that left hip soften down. Good. And then maybe you can bring the right hand to the wall. And then bring the gaze to follow. So we're going to use this to help deepen the twist. And you see right now I got a bend in the elbow. That's okay. Because it's all about the sensation of the torso and feeling this and using this to help in the twist. Instead of being on the ground, we're going to just maybe walk the fingers behind me. Good. Inhale tall. Exhale. So you feel the origin of the twist going beneath the belly button. Hug the left shoulder in. Hug the right arm bone in and back and down. Inhale and then exhale. Bring the gaze forward. And then release the twist forward. Now this time, we're going to shift the blanket to the opposite hip. So you kind of I'm using the heel to help set me up a little bit. Right leg comes. Once the right leg comes over, this right hip tends to hike up. All right. Inhale, right. Put the hands around the right shin. Lengthen tall. Let the right hip hike down, soften down. And good. Bring the left arm around the knee. And bring the right arm to the wall. Good. So you can start off just pressing the wall. And rotate the shoulder blades down the spine, opening up the arm bone. Externally rotate. So the right toe mount is rooting down the big toe. The left knife edge of the foot is active. The ankle's off the ground. Maybe press that left leg bone into the ground. Soften the right hip down. And if you want to walk the fingertips behind you, inhale tall, exhale twist. Hug the ribs into the center line. Inhale tall. Exhale, draw the chin towards the left shoulder. Inhale and release. Exhale. Right. Let's use the blanket to seated forward fold. Bring the feet onto the wall. Good. Now you can put blocks underneath your knees if you feel like that helps support you. Neutral rotation. You can take the flesh and move it out wide. And again, just like we were sitting against the wall, you're going to feel the sternum, lower sternum hug down as the collarbones lift up. Inhale again. Externally rotate the arms and see how high they can lift. Bring the thumbs to cross. Press the wrists together as you pull the hands apart. Now, pull the outer shoulders apart, away from each other. Good. So you're lifting up, and then you're going to feel this broadness in your mid-back. Good. Inhale. And then exhale. And start to hinge forward. Good. And maybe the fingertips touch the wall. And if you can, spider finger the wall. If you need to use blocks, you can put the blocks on the wall. And see whatever adaptation you can do. Go for it. But it's like when you start to lose the roundness in your back, we want to plane off from it just a little bit. Now, bring the biceps up towards the sky. Bring the toes towards you. Press the heels forward. And then hug the calves up as you press the upper thigh bones down and back. So it's going to kind of give you this little arch in the lower back. That's what we're looking for. Good. Now press the toe mounts into the wall. Good. You can even bring the big toes a little closer together. You're going to feel this inner rotation of the upper thighs. Good. Now, you can have a block and create like a little Stonehenge. Whatever version. So I'm going to put it at an angle. And I'm going to stack my forehead so I'm really lengthened and squeeze the shins and the calves together and support the forehead on the blocks. It can be done with whatever you have around the house. It could even be pillows, blankets, anything. And again, it's giving you a little more relaxation in the neck and giving you more access into the subtleties of the pose. And I know we give a lot of cues, and maybe the cues aren't right for you. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I try to go off of what I feel, what I learn, but we're all made different. And this is your practice to explore. And when there's a knife cutting kind of pain or sharp pain, you usually want to move away from that. Okay? And you want to try to discover where you're plowing through things and where can you balance. Like, where can I shift the sensations to be a more balanced and complete pose, right? Because the pose is not the destination. The pose is the journey. And when we cue as teachers, we're trying to have everyone, be present to the journey of it. What are you doing now? How are you feeling now? The movement of now. This is not how the pose is supposed to look. So we're not trying to achieve the ideal. We're trying to experience the now and move into joy, into balance, to equanimity. And where can activation and strength and ease coexist in your body? Now, slowly bring the hands down and then rise up. I'm going to move into a little wall sequence. I'm going to move the blanket a little closer. So it's going to be like a chair on a wall. These are always very nice and yummy. And we're going to support the sacrum and the hip bones on the wall. Just give yourself time here. And a little bit of measurement could be just a block or a blanket on the shin. So this might tell me, oh, one shin is higher than the other. Or maybe the shins aren't parallel. But it's just enough weight to allow you to activate, but also giving you time to try to release the hips, right? The pelvic area. And just little, I love how you say that the sacrum is like a keystone bone, and it's like balanced depending upon everything else in the chain of the legs and the hips and the sockets and the pelvic girdle. So it's kind of like just a reflection of the balance of the spine and the low pelvic girdle. But when you do things like this, where the sacrum is using the floor, giving you feedback and time, you're able to distinguish, maybe not consciously, but you're able to distinguish on a subtle level the inauthenticity of your balance. What's not balanced, what's not in equal or equanimity. And it allows you to experience the journey of it. So again, we're just experiencing the journey of equanimity. Here we go. We got a little bit of balance in an area that's maybe not normally balanced. Now, you want to lift the legs up and straighten and let the block kind of glide down like a little slide. That's not necessary. I just felt like it'd be fun. All right. So we're going to lift the right foot off the wall, and you're going to glide the left shin. Okay? So it's kind of be this little, now step the left foot onto the wall and bring the shin towards the wall. So we're going to kind of draw little circles with our feet. So you can just like touch the wall. And we're going to just go from right to left in this little crazy little, kind of like a little gymnastics, what do you call it, floor routine where they do the little flags. Right? So imagine that you have this imaginary spiraling of the hips. So our body's not necessarily, we're always talking about, balance. Our body is spiraled. So look at your hairline, right? It's not, you can't really just part it down the middle unless you're alfalfa. So just imagine that you're spiraling the legs and the rotation of the thighs, getting one foot on the baseboard and the shin to come across. And if it doesn't feel good to go this far, it's okay. You're going to kind of spiral into the other side. Good. Now, we're going to look the opposite direction, all right? And bring the left arm to the right shoulder. Now, in the movement, I want you to glide the left arm open as you bring the right arm across. The left shin comes as the right arm comes across, and your gaze is going to go to the left hand. So let's do that again. Right arm, left leg, and then as the right shin comes, the left arm comes across. So let's do that a couple times. Nice and slow. Inhale, and do it with your breath. Inhale, and exhale. So when you get to the twist, make that exhale. I'll pause here. Let's do a little bit of pranayama, Viloma. Let's do Viloma 2. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Exhale. Suspend. Inhale. And then exhale completely. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Hold. Exhale completely. Inhale. And exhale. Now, start to open up the right arm, bring the left leg around, and right shin, so I kind of got stuck here. And then the left arm comes across, and we're going to hold it here. So we have this deep little twist, and using the sole of the left foot and the shin of the right. All right, palm facing the sky. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And on exhale, really feel the deep twist. Inhale completely. Exhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Hold. Exhale. Suspend your breath. Inhale. And exhale. I'll go ahead and bring the knees back to center. Soles of your feet together. Knees out wide. So we're in Baddha Konasana. If you want to lift the hips up and adjust the blanket, there we go. Right underneath the sacrum. I know that sliding glide kind of moves things around. Now, gently bring the knees together. And do this. Let's bring the feet out wide. So we're like in a inverted frog. How the hips naturally open. We're not going to press anything like that. Kind of bring the arms into cactus. Now, step the feet up the wall. So just roll over to one side. And we're going to fold the blanket in half. So we're going to have it short and taller. So we're making a little bolster. Bring the right hip right onto the edge. Tuck the right arm under. And roll up onto legs up the wall. So if your legs splay out wide, you may want to put a strap or even a block as a reminder between the thighs. You can even put a weight of a block or a blanket or something on the soles of your feet. And feel the weight of the legs and gravity. Really take the femur head, the leg bone, and the hip socket. Just really be encased, fully surrounded and supported. So the toes are nudging down towards you as the heels rise up a little bit. And for if you have any hyperextension in knees, allow a little space. This is all about fluidity. Sure, you might have some things active keeping the legs from falling, but really working on letting the flow of the lymph system, all the lymph nodes and the fascia and the fluid draining. I think when you rest and you totally relax is when you replenish the fluids in your body. You sleep at night. But it's not just, I don't think it's just the sleeping part of it, because a lot of times when we're not at ease and we're stressed and the sympathetic nerves are on edge, fight or flight, we don't heal. And I think healing is when we're in this relaxed state. So even if we're one that loves the fitness of power yoga, the mental clarity from a good physical workout, that can bring us into ease. But also the breath work and the time of relaxing into restorative poses or more gentle poses can allow us space and time to heal. It's like giving us time to permeate, letting the water and the stillness purify. The journey of it, even if it's very subtle. There's a lot of life happening in the subtleties of our body. Beneath the surface of a placid lake, there is flow and movement. It's not stagnation. You want to bring the heels out wide. Again, press the heels up the wall. Sternly rotate the leg bones. You might find that you go a little deeper, a little bit of arch in your lower back. So you have this hugging in and extending out. And then bring the knees together. Give yourself a big hug. Roll the knees over to one side. Bring the arm above your head. And gently press up into your easy seated pose. I appreciate you joining me today into some wall play, right? So I hope that you really just take on your yoga practice as playfulness and joy and ease and exploration, modification, and make it personal to you. Because that's all what this is the journey of your life, expressed in movement and discovery. And when we have this time, just the gratefulness of being able to do this, no matter how bad something may seem in the press or whatnot. So, thank you again. Namaste.